Just wanted to play the good old sound effect. Alright, so. Where's the game? Here it is. Which I'll hit reset once more. Alright, now for a quickie but a goodie, because I imagine that this game will only take me 2 streams to finish, with a little bit of off-screen grinding. I have, at the end of this series, I am going to have 3 decks. I'm not going to use abridged voices. I will use actual voices for this. In this case, I'm going to have to turn the mic up just a tad. The British Empire in the 1480s. Turn this down a tad. The War of the Roses. A struggle between the houses of Lancaster Red Rose and York White Rose to decide a royal successor was nearing an end. With the Yorkists well in the lead, the reign of Richard III was but a step away. And in France, Yugi, Henry Tudor VII, the last Lancastrian heir, was forced to live a life of exile. The Lancastrian forces were rendered powerless by ancient cards of sorcery wielded by Seto and his 7 followers, who know as the Rose Crusaders, served under the flag of Lord Crawford, a powerful Yorkist nobleman. Lacking a duelist to champion their cause, defeat was imminent for the Lancastrians. In England, duel card games were still at a fledgling state. Thus, the Lancastrians had to look elsewhere for a duelist master capable of facing Rosencreur in battle. With this in mind, Margaret My Buford of Lancaster secretly requested a High Druid to summon a duelist from another age. Stonehenge, of course. Ooh! Summoned from the mystic circle of red and white roses, the one capable of harnessing pure power. There was truth to the legend of the Rose Duelist. Lady Margaret, I did it. Now we have the means for defeating the evil forces of Rosencreur. Oh, my apologies. In my excitement, I'd forgotten. I was in the presence of the Rose Duelist. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Shimon McMorrin, High Druid and Servant of Lancaster. May I be so bold as to ask the name by which the Rose Duelist would like to be known? Well, I'm just going to use my screen name if it will allow me. What is it with these games and actually having enough spaces somehow? Excellent. A fine name indeed. Now, here's the situation. The year is 1485. And you are currently in Stonehenge near Salisbury, England. The British Empire is in turmoil with the House of Lancaster's rightful claim to the throne being challenged by the Yorkist usurpers. The power struggle is referred to as the War of the Roses, a name based on the badges used by both sides, a red rose for the Lancastrians, and a white rose for the Yorkists. Right now our kingdom is threatened by the Yorkists and their wrongful claim to the throne. All because the Yorkists enjoy the support of the Rose Crusaders and their sorcerer's white rose cards. Using our red rose cards, we summoned you to this day and age. We hope that your dueling experience would defeat the Rose Crusaders and lead us to victory. You will help us. Of course you will. Foolish of me to even doubt where your loyalties lie. Rumor has it that only the legendary Rose Duelist stands a chance against the power of Rose and Crow. We appreciate any help that you can provide against them. Before I forget, I shall warn you that the rules to dueling differ from here from those of your age. Here in England, dueling is governed by what is known as the perfect rule. In addition to several minor distinctions, there are two major differences. One is the existence of movement, or positioning. The other is the deck leader concept. These are two aspects of dueling that were lost in the process when the ancient sport of duel monsters was adapted to card form. The perfect rule represents these lost rules that were miraculously revived here in England. Perhaps a practice duel would serve better than an explanation, shall we? No, we're not going to do it. First, you must select a deck to duel with. It is important that you feel the vibrations of a deck leader, the minute resonations that ring true to your soul. The cards themselves draw their power from the energies of the Ancient Ones. The deck leader acts as an intermediate between the Ancient Ones and the deck wielder. It is essential that you select a card leader whose rhythm matches the stirrings of your soul. Here are several decks from which to choose. Give it some serious thought and make your selection. Choose carefully, for the deck you select will guide the destiny of your duels. So we have Luminous Soldier, Birdface, and Tactical Warrior. Interesting. Okay, so eventually I am wanting to do a water deck. I don't think the Pyro deck will be on the table, so I'm going to change it to plants and insects eventually. But since this one has a nice variety and mix, yeah, I am not going for a dragon deck. Surprise, surprise. Let's try the Luminous Soldier deck. What's the worst that could happen? Ah, I see you have selected your deck. So that's the effect of the Celtic Red Rose cards. It looks like there's some truth to the rumor that Red Rose cards are capable of time transformation. Who's there? It's been some time since the Battle of Barnet or won. Rosencrow, what brings you here? Only a member of the Rose Crusaders may call me by that name. If you recall, I told you once before that you may only address me as Seto. Or does memory fail you, old man? And you must be the dreaded Rose Duelist. I must admit there's a certain aura, a power emanating from you. I believe an introduction is in order. I am Seto, leader of the Rose Crusaders. There are members of our little group who prefer to call me by the name Christian Rosencrow. I ask again, what brings you here, Seto? Mind your manners, old man. What else would bring me here? I've come for the Red Rose cards. After all, it was you who showed me how the summoning capabilities would evolve when the Red Rose cards are combined with the transport powers of the White Rose cards. You aren't thinking of attempting the Forbidden Rose summoning. If so, then the Red Rose cards must never fall into your evil hands. Card sorcery taps into the powers of the Ancient Ones. By their very nature, each card is a double-edged sword that can cut both ways. The Red Rose cards alone harness tremendous power. There's no telling what horrors one might unleash to the world by combining both red and white. I will sacrifice my own life, if need be, to prevent any from uttering the spell of doom. The spell of doom? Fool! The 16 red and white rose cards grant power all over. Druid legend has twisted the true meaning of these cards. We Rose Crusaders have sworn to create a utopia free from the ravages of war. We intend to accomplish this with the power of the cards. And we shall do so by extending the rule of Richard III throughout the known world. By the way, it was clever of you to form a circle of red roses within the white rose barrier to summon the Rose Duelist. But you were foolish to come alone. This area is surrounded, and if you wish to leave with your life, you will do so by handing over the red rose cards. Me? A fool? Then what about you? Are you fool enough to actually believe the Red Rose cards would remain here in my possession? Right after the summoning, I had the cards dispersed among our best duelists to keep them from your tainted hands. Then you leave me with one option. I shall enlist the aid of your precious Rose Duelist. You take leave of your senses. And you speak too soon, old man. Heed my words, Duelist. If you wish to return to your proper time, you require 16 cards of the red and white roses. The red and white positions must be laid out in reverse of the summoning order to send you home. You know the spell? Since you need the 16 rose cards just as much as we do, I propose a partnership. Help us gather the cards, and I shall guarantee your return after we've achieved our ultimate goal. An absurd proposal. Do you think that the Honorable would even lend an ear to your ridiculous proposal? Can you be so sure, old man? Let me see. Simon's side has 8 of the red rose cards, while my side, the Rose Crusaders, has possession of the 8 white rose cards. As the numbers are even, simple arithmetic indicates that you could side with either of us. But I'm sure you'll take into account who's winning this war. After all, who was desperate enough to summon you here in the first place? I think it's quite clear which side is better positioned to send you home. Heed not the words of this power-hungry lunatic! Shimon, must you resort to name-calling? I'm hurt. I'll tell you what, why don't we leave the decision to our dear duelist? After all, Shimon, the duelist's future is not for us to decide now, is it? Well, yes, but... Splendid. In keeping with the tradition of the old Temple Guardians, I offer you a choice, duelist. Here are 2 roses. The white represents me, and the red for old Shimon here. For the sake of justice, choose the red rose. Stand by my side, duelist. Choose the white rose. Normally I sign with the Lancastrians because it's easier, but because of the deck choice this time, we're going to do something a little different. A wise choice, duelist. I see you are well versed in judging a situation. Welcome to the Rose Crusaders. I am honored. Okay, old man, it's time you made yourself scarce. What? What are you doing? Stop! No! Don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you. I just need you out of the way until everything is settled. Now let's talk about the red rose cards. Shimon mentioned that he spread the cards among certain individuals just after summoning you. I think it's safe to assume that a large number of those individuals are his confederates currently located in France. I would like to ask you to enter France from Dover and retrieve those cards for our cause. I would go myself, however. I'm needed here to maintain our barrier against any invading forces. According to the legend, one must use a deck whose cost is lower than an opponent's to capture a rose card of another color. Remember, a deck that costs lower than that of an opponent is the key. I've also heard somewhere that the Celts inherited the red rose cards from the original inhabitants of Stonehenge. This would mean that our enemy Yugi, who comes from a line of Welsh nobility, would likely have inherited one of the red rose cards. This means that those who oppose the Rose Crusaders are sufficiently equipped to duel against us as equals. Given their desperate situation, they will retaliate with everything they've got. It would be wise not to underestimate them. I'm depending on you. Okay, so before we get too carried away, I am going to do something real quick. There is a password system in this game. I am going to input a couple of them now because these are cards that are either impossible to get or very difficult to get. There's a more in-depth one I found somewhere. I think it actually is this one. Yeah, it is this one. Okay. Okay, a couple cards that I am going to input for. You do this by pressing R3. One card that I will get and run against certain people. Let's see. Okay. Ancient Tree of Enlightenment. That is a very useful card. Alright. This one is actually numbers. 7, 3, 1, 5, 3, 7, 3, 6. This gets us Sleep Warrior. There is no other way to get this card, which is interesting to point out. Okay, what was the other card that was always impossible to get? I think it was this one. If I can find it. Kind of weird some ritual cards randomly have. Passcodes, not all of them do. Creature Swap was in this game, huh? How is it that that card never saw the light of day until now? Well, I mean, it exists now, but obviously. I'm also going to, there's one more that I will be getting, because, again, it's almost impossible to obtain. If only you could get Ryoku, but that card, even though it is in the game, you can never get it without cheating. Okay, so those 3 cards I always put a code in for because they're impossible to get otherwise. So what can I get rid of for some of these? What do you do? Destroy in battle, destroys... not bad. So it's a trading card. What I mean... Well, yeah, obviously. But what I mean by that is that it trades with the monster that it battles. A Thunder Dragon to begin with, huh? Okay, it's a couple Pyro monsters. Nothing huge. What does this do? Transforms 2 spend normal turn. Ooh, that could be useful. Is Bright Castle unbiased? No, it powers up light monsters. Fake Trap is whatever. Let's get rid of the Hanawa because I don't really need it for synergy reasons. What does Hinotama's Soul do? All spell cards are destroyed. It's okay. Side that out. And I'll put these 3 cards in. And I think we're still under the deck cost to fight Taya. Yes, just barely. The Rose Duelists, you dare to betray the hopes of Prince Yugi? I'll teach you a lesson you'll never forget. The dialogue with the characters is kind of minimum. And I love the music in this game. Go forward here. Hand's not that... Hand doesn't look too good. What's my lowest cost? They're all level 3. I'll play Hero of the East. Forward. So this game is vastly different. You have a deck leader that can move. Also, it's Taya. She likes equip cards. And Taya, I believe, she doesn't really move all that much. She's just kind of there to cause some trouble for you. No. I think I'll just play this and. Jeez, the hand is awful. I'll just send you. So yeah, maybe expect a couple losses in the beginning here because most of my monsters are going to be pretty bad in the beginning. No, that's not terrible. If this fusion actually works. Yes, it did. Neko Gal, number 2. I know. Okay. Goddess with the third eye, that's it. I was expecting with 2 equips it would be a lot stronger. Also, we're not going to watch these all the time. I'm just watching them every now and then. A samurai slain by a fairy. Interesting. Okay, that isn't bad. Neo wouldn't be bad. Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to set Bright Castle over here. That takes no stars to use. You build up, I think it's 3 stars every turn. So, I'll go ahead and move you forward. This here. And if you play a spell or a trap, nothing happens. You don't lose stars at all. Okay, we've already seen her attack. She fires a laser beam from her eye. Or laser beams, I should say. But because I'm stronger than you, Shockwave! Okay, that's not great. Go ahead and soup up my Neo. Send up my Neko Gal. And then I'm going to move back over here so I can mess with my Armor Knight later. Yeah, she mostly just summons a bunch of stuff in the one corner and doesn't really move. Okay, I have a fusion here. It's not great, but it's better than nothing. You must use the Celtic Guardian. Let's see, what is this? That's not a bad ability, actually. So essentially, that Celtic Guardian would be very useful against a later opponent who loves to shift control monsters. Oh shit again. Oh, I was afraid of that. When that's flipped face up, all light monsters on your field get a power boost. Yeah, it's not great, but it's not terrible either. Well, let's see. I'll summon you, because you can take a hit. Hourglass of Courage, huh? What does that do? Also needed the Magic Swordsman. It's always been a cool card to me. What does he do? Ah, that makes sense. Oh. Well, that's a problem. It's not a huge problem if I do this boxer in like this, but... Oof. 2 Hoshinigans. That's one beefy monster there. Alright. I'll make you a sacrificial lamb. Shift you to defense as well. How strong are you? The other one's stronger. Alright, I have 5 monsters on the field. Okay. Reloaded. Yeah, the most you can have, I believe, is 5 of each card. And she erases her own stronger Hoshinigin. Well, I guess she didn't really have a choice. Ooh, that thing has 2,600 attack points! Interesting. Well, that's a problem. A little risky, but I have to do it. It's 2,600. Oof. This is getting scary. At least Swordsman takes Doma out with him. Okay, Ancient Tree of Enlightenment. Honestly, I don't really need that card in this duel, but hey, it's cool though. You know what, I'm going to beat you. She took my bait. Excellent. So what does Ray and Temperature do? I'll have to look up next turn. Oh. Parshath, huh? This doesn't look good. I forgot that fairies gain power up in the mountains. Cancels all power increases or decreases an enemy monster in battle. Does not cancel bonuses such as leader ability effects. Ooh, that's pretty good actually. Mimicat, huh? Is there anything worth copying? Well, there kind of is. I'm going to march you up there because we want to use you for something very specific here. I'm going to set this back here in my back pocket. So Slate Warrior has a very interesting ability. So Rain Temperature is going to nerf the power increase, but the point is, the reason why I put Slate Warrior in the deck is because he is an immortal monster. There's only a handful of those in the game, and when they're destroyed, they activate Crush terrain. And if you know what a Crush card does, anything with 1,500 or more attack points is automatically destroyed. That's what I thought. A desperation play here, because this does not look good. Just want to throw these cards away. So, like Forbidden Memories, you can just throw cards away if there's really nothing that can bail you out. I'm actually going to use this now. I have a use for it. A lot of my monsters aren't that helpful. I'm going to take this. It's risky because I take 1,000 points of damage, but if I can get a strong monster on board, it won't matter. Not a strong monster per se, but it isn't bad. Ah, I went straight to Flame Swordsman. Oh wow, how was I supposed to know? Pardon me. That Dancing Elf is 1,900 attack points. It's a Gemini Elf now. Yeah, this is where Taya, being a first opponent, is actually very tricky. Because she likes equips, which is on brand for her. More power? Oh my. This is getting horrifying, actually. But then you kill your own monster because it gained too much power in the Crush terrain. Burning Land, huh? Let's just get rid of the mountains here. Take away her advantage. Oh, her own cards are powering me up too. Interesting. I think that's 3,100 attack points. That thing's going to kill me immediately. If I don't do something quick. Kaiser Dragon. Okay. What are you at? 25. Well, time for an oldie but a goodie. Destroy them. It has to be destroyed by battle. Okay. I thought it was... I got confused with Hourglass of Life. Parshaft is coming out the back way, so we'll have to be careful with it. Dragon. Gotta be careful about going forward there. Yeah, but now you're stuck, because Light Monster beating a Water Monster means you get Spellbound for a turn. And I'm not skipping this because I actually want to see his attack. He's a Centaur, that makes sense. Wasn't what I was expecting. Still cool, though. Oh, my little white dolphin. What did it do to you? Oh, it's the other way around. It's still problematic. She didn't attack me, which makes me think that that either has the same attack power or it's weaker. Alright, we'll move back. Wow. Didn't think that would work. I was just trying to get her some cards. Okay. It was equal. Well, darn. At least that dealt with one problem. But now I have that Parshaft on my doorstep. And no way to get rid of it. That was a bluff. Oh, if I don't draw something that'll do anything soon, I'm just going to give up. Legendary Sword. Would have been nice to have had that Flame Swordsman earlier. Well, alright, I'm giving up. There's no way I can win this. And that's going to be all the time that we have. So until next time, Ryo Nakage 33 signing off.